No one does Razzmatazz quite like the USA. This was a party for people of all political parties. Of course, parties are usually to celebrate something, but as the evening began, nobody was ready to celebrate just yet.
This is an unbelievable election for the American people, and I'm nail-biting nervous about whether Hillary will win or not.
So obviously you're rooting for Donald Trump tonight. How are you feeling?
I voted for him. You know, I feel the same way I felt this morning, which is he probably has a 1 in 4 chance of winning. And that's not terrible, it's not wonderful, but, you know.
Don't be fooled by the party atmosphere. Everybody may be getting along very well, but this is the end of the most bitter US election for decades, perhaps in history. At stake, something really important, the world's most powerful job.
Unlike so many elections, there's a huge distinction between a Donald Trump presidency and a Hillary Clinton presidency. It matters for America. Arguably, it matters far more for the rest of the world. The implications of a Donald Trump presidency are very different for America's allies and adversaries.
And so, as guests settled in for a long night watching the results come in, I spoke to their host, the US ambassador to London, a man on a reassurance mission about Britain's special relationship with the US.
All the British people I meet with, especially the next generation, and I've met with over 20,000 British sixth formers, and you talk to them, they are paying attention and they have really high standards not only of their own country but of my country and what we do and what we say. I think that's really good. I think the worst thing for the special relationship on either side of the Atlantic would be apathy. Apathy is corrosive to our democracy.
Certainly if you take the view of the British media, there will be people in Whitehall in power here who will be pretty much terrified of a Donald Trump presidency. Is that the kind of thing that you've picked up from your contacts in London during the campaign?
Well, I base it more on the people I meet and less on the media, with all great respect to the media, of course. And what I see is a high level of care and concern, and that's totally appropriate. And by the way, we in the United States and Americans around the world are watching what's happening in the United Kingdom. And we care. And when we're asked, we speak up. Sometimes it makes people, they're disappointed that we say as friends what we think and why, but I think that's what we ought to do for each other.
I think I'm right in saying you're coming to the end of your term as ambassador.
Thanks for reminding me.
What will you be saying in your handover to your replacement? And indeed, what will you be saying in your briefing to the new president?
Well, look, I think I haven't written it yet, but thanks for reminding me. I mean, look, I think the key thing is that we are, and knowing your audience, I mean, our shared history together is so unbelievably powerful. I think we need to make sure that we don't look backwards. We should be inspired by our past and not imprisoned by it. We're celebrating 70 years since Sir Winston Churchill coined that phrase, special relationship. What I've tried to focus on, I hope whoever comes after me, she or he, will focus on the next 70 years. And that means really reaching out to this next generation, listening to what's on their mind, and helping them to connect to all the amazing things we do for each other and what we do for the world we share.
Ambassador Belson, thank you.
Thank you.
As the numbers began to stack up, you could feel the mood shifting. Cautious optimism among some Clinton supporters turned to real tension. Then, 4.5 hours in, Florida was called for Trump. It wasn't over for Clinton yet, but her supporters were losing hope fast.
The whole thing is heartbreaking. I mean, CNN may just be leading us on to keep watching, but it's a heartbreaking situation to see America this polarized at all. I mean, I love America. It really is the greatest country on earth.
The party was over, but it took another 3 hours for the winner to be confirmed.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory. I want to tell the world community that while we will always put America's interests first, we will deal fairly with everyone, all people and all other nations. We will seek common ground, not hostility, partnership, not conflict.
The US president-elect is a man who branded NATO obsolete during a bitter and divisive campaign, a man who knows his popularity at home doesn't extend to many other countries. But Donald Trump is also a man of surprises, who tried to strike a conciliatory note in his victory speech. Now, he'll be judged on what he does once he takes office, in just over 2 months' time. James Hurst, Forces News at the US Embassy in London.